I really want to talk about why the lack of beauty is destroying society today. I mean, if you look around, we literally live in one of the ugliest time periods in human history. And it's not just the architecture, the gray buildings, concrete everywhere, just towers of glass and nothingness. It's all boring, monotonous designs. They're just copies of one another, shooting straight up into the sky. I don't find that impressive. I find it to be just dull. I just find it to be dull. And I hate it. It's not motivating in any kind of way. It's extremely depressing, right? And it's not just the buildings, it's not just the music, it's also the way people dress. It's everybody's fashion sense or lack thereof today, you know? And on top of that, the way people carry themselves, their attitude, people are just they don't even have this inner beauty anymore. No personality of any kind, just drones going through life, not caring how they present themselves or how they're perceived. They don't care about the music that they listen to, and you contrast that to the cathedrals of the olden days or the Parthenon or the Colosseum, right? These massive feats of human engineering, even the Roman aqueduct system, right? Even though it had its practical uses, it was still a marvel of human engineering capabilities for the time, and it was also beautiful. Um, but today, dude, it just seems like we're not even trying. And in fact, it seems like the opposite. It seems like we're trying to create a lack of beauty. It seems like that's the goal. We no longer build things like the Notre Dame in France. Instead, we just have these gray vinyl siding buildings and houses. The front is just red brick. These things are so ugly. And then getting back to people's fashion sense, dude, if you look at the beauty standards of the 20s, the roaring 20s, the 40s in places like France and Germany, even maybe not the 40s, but the 20s in Germany. And so, dude, it was just, there was so much class. Okay. People took pride in their appearance. They liked to be seen and they enjoyed seeing others who also took the time to beautify themselves, both men and women. You know what I mean? Just well groomed, well dressed, well behaved, well mannered. They were beautiful on the inside as well. They were pleasant to one another in how they conducted themselves, in their behavior. And nowadays you get shit like mullets. Why is every kid I see walking around with a fucking mullet and then a mustache? What are we doing? Or worse yet, you've got the ones who decide to dye their hair crazy colors, blue and green, and they got bangs with a mullet. Then they got these big ass fucking Jeffrey Dahmer glasses on and dangly earrings and septum piercings, and this is supposed to be beautiful because it's authentic. Like, dude, that's not authenticity, dude. You look crazy. You look insane. And I know that's that's funny coming from me. I have tattoos on my face, but as I've stated before, they are on their way out the door. I don't have too many removal sessions left. So I recognize that's not beautiful. I would rather clean up my appearance, right? Appear more friendly, professional, just clean cut, more put together than somebody who has ink on his face. Okay. So I understand that I'm one to talk, but let's be real, dude. I'm at least trying to right the ship, and then you've got other people who can't stop putting piercings in their face. I mean, what is the whole trend with women getting piercings in their cheek, their dimple? Have you seen that? That's like, how do you eat with that? Like, I feel like you just bite it all the time, dude. I don't know. Some of this stuff seriously beyond me. right? And then the fashion just absolutely kills me. And I think more so, I mean, I'll get to the guys in a second, but with the women, the thing I hate the most is just the lack of modesty. I mean, dude, some of these women are going out here like they're wearing body paint. Dude, they have nothing on. I mean, all the way up inside their behind, you know what I'm talking about? I see them all the time, in the cities, women walking around. It looks like they're literally in their underwear. I mean, this used to be illegal. If your bikini was too small at the beach, you'd get a ticket. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying we have to go all the way back to those days, but come on, dude. Like, I miss when there was some level of modesty. You might pass a school bus stop picking up like middle schoolers or high schoolers. Some of the shit these youth are wearing, dude, they never would have gotten away with this when I was going to school. And they look like hookers, dude. Faces full of makeup, wearing nothing, spaghetti straps, no bra. It's like, dude, like you're not trying to look, but you can't help but notice. It's one of those things. And I really wish that we never reached this point, you know, and it sucks, right? It really does. It's like we've confuse beauty with vanity, right? Ugliness with honesty and authenticity. Like, oh, if you're ugly, you're not actually ugly. You're authentically yourself, and that goes part and parcel with the whole body positivity movement. Like, I recently saw a post that was allegedly from a study where it said experts find that men who marry heavier set women tend to lead happier lives. I was like, dude, you're not gonna convince me to get with a fatty. Okay, it's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. That shit is not beautiful. It's repulsive. It's not attractive. And personally, I think you hate yourself. That's the ultimate form of disrespect, is to be so gluttonous that you eat yourself to death. What you cannot tell me that's not hating yourself. If you loved yourself, if you respected yourself, then you would want to change that for yourself. You would want to be healthier. You would want to remove all of the strain you are putting on your heart just to pump blood throughout your land whale body. But the last thing anybody's going to convince me of is that is beauty, that I should look at them as, well, they just don't fit into the traditional standards of beauty, but they are beautiful. No, dude, you're unhealthy. You're fat. You're not beautiful. Okay. Can we please get past this whole thing? But anyway, dude. Um, and then the art as well, the music, paintings. Have you seen the slop that passes for modern art today? It's fucking stupid. Like, you could just paint a blue line on a white canvas that's 9 by 9, and the blue line is 2 inches wide. And it's like, oh yeah, that's fucking $14 million. That's art right there. You just don't get it. You don't understand. And obviously, fine art like that, I'm convinced, is just money laundering, the ability to transfer wealth and shit like that. But that's neither here nor there. Look at the music, right? Look at the works of Bach, Beethoven. I understand this is classical music, but even if you go back just a little bit, artists like Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash, people like this, they created real music, that you could feel, that you could almost experience. And then even if you want to go, like, I personally enjoy jazz, or I'll put on some like deep Southern blues, that kind of thing. That's real music. That's real art, where there's a message or there's a feeling or almost an experience tied to it. And nowadays it's just beats that repeat endlessly. You'll hear the hook of the song at least 5 times now. And it's almost like the goal is to get a little TikTok worthy snapshot. Like, you'll make a 3 minute song. They don't even make 3 minute songs anymore. A lot of the songs I see will be like 2 minutes and 19 seconds. They can't even be bothered to produce a 4 minute uh musical piece. But anyway, it's almost like the goal is to get that 5 second, 20-second snapshot in the song that will pair well with trendy TikToks, and that makes the song popular for a day and a half, and the artist gets a little bit of exposure and money. It's almost like that's the goal. As long as you just have one part that can be slapped onto a whole bunch of cringe dancing TikToks, then that's passable as music today. I don't even have to tell most of you probably about the whole Sam Smith situation that happened, I don't know, a couple years ago. Like, dude, just the sheer level of depravity, how disgusting it was. I don't even know if I'm going to put up clips of it on YouTube, whether I can or even should. But just the level of depravity, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Sam Smith did this disgusting, disgusting, like, performance for whatever thing. I don't keep up with it. But he was dressed as the devil. This is a dude dressed as Satan, twerking. It was hypersexual. I mean, dude, it was just so ridiculous. And I cannot believe for the life of me that this passes as art today. We used to have timeless records, and now we just have background noise essentially that is, in a way, in my opinion, just made for TikTok and short form content at this point. It's not even just tied to money or art or any of these things singularly, but it's the collection of all of them. Excuse me, where beauty exists, it's expiring, right? It's almost like a bar that you want to reach, right? You see beauty and you want to emulate that. So in a society that values beauty, excuse me, and they're building these magnificent structures. The architecture is just sublime. It looks amazing. The building itself is a work of art. And then statues like the David by Michelangelo are works of art that are housed in the work of art. You know what I mean? It's just when you're surrounded by beauty, you're inspired to be beautiful, I think is what I'm trying to say. But nowadays, you're surrounded by nothing. You're surrounded by terrible music, okay, constantly just being blasted everywhere you go. You can't escape it anymore except in the confines of your own home. You're surrounded by horrible, dull architecture. Even our public schools look like prisons and are actually modeled off of prisons. If you didn't know that, you look it up. Maybe I'll do a video on it. I think this guy, I think he was a Rockefeller. Don't quote me on that. He went to Poland, I think. Never mind. I'll do another video on that. We'll cover that. Just look it up. Look it up. Our modern school system is designed off of prisons, and it even looks like it, right? And then you have these big glass skyscrapers that I don't think impress anybody. Um, just looks so dull, so boring. There's hardly any greenery around. It's just concrete all the time. And it's funny, I actually had to do some work in the countryside recently. And dude, it was so nice. I was driving on a stretch of road for about 30 miles, just two lanes one way, two lanes the other, just cruising, man. Plenty of space. I took some videos, I'll throw them up here. And it was just so calm, man. I had to throw on some of those deep southern blues, right? No vocals or nothing, just the guitars, the twang, making the guitar sing. You know what I mean? Rolled the windows down, wind in my face, just cruising, man, cruising, looking around at all the greenery. And it was just so nice. It was so calm. The colors were so vibrant. And then you come back around the city and just immediately your whole world just almost gets this gray filter over it. So it's no surprise to me why everybody's so depressed lately, because we've lost touch with nature. And nature, by definition, is beautiful in and of itself, because of its both perfection and imperfections. But even that's being wiped off the face of the earth. We are rapidly losing rainforest and land that's being turned into developments and luxury apartments. I mean, how many new luxury apartments are we going to see pop up that are just carbon copies of the last one? There's nothing luxury about it. Just because you put some dark gray cabinets and fake vinyl wood flooring in, now all of a sudden it's $3,000. That's not luxury, big man. And I guess my main point is that A society that abandons beauty abandons hope, because from hope, art is created, and that art should be and used to be beautiful. You know what I mean? But if you strip away awe and you strip away the pursuit of a higher purpose, strip away inspiration, all you're left with is these gray walls, these asphalt roads, these people with no fashion sense. I'm not saying you gotta be a fashionista, but dude, the whole like going out in bonnets, going out in gray sweats and freaking Crocs and socks and just like baggy ass. Like, dude, what are we doing, man? Like, can nobody be bothered to just lace up a pair of sneakers or something, or put some jeans on, some shorts, something? Does nobody own a belt anymore? I mean, dude, it's just ridiculous. And maybe that's why everything feels so empty lately. Because when you kill beauty, you essentially kill the soul of society, in my opinion. But maybe I'm just noticing it. I'm sure other people are noticing it. And if you are, let me know, man, because I'm really sick of this. I'm really in the process of making a change. We're looking at going somewhere else. Just get away from the city. I'm not trying to live no homestead lifestyle or anything, but dude, I mean, this is not it, though. This is not it, what we're currently doing. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you've experienced it, if you're noticing it, if it's contributing to your life negatively, all of these things. I always appreciate the comments, the engagement. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button. It's your boy, as always, Wicks the board. Y'all take it easy.